Hello and welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror films. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your red gown-clad co-hostess, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome this week, and happy May, Josh.
Love that look for you. Love that you decided to wear full surgical wear for this episode. No, I'm kidding. How are you?
I'm good. Things have been busy as all fucking heck over here. But I've somehow been able to cram a fuck ton of movies into that busyness.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I've had a pretty good week despite the fact that it's been fucking, like, in a tailspin. How have you been, Josh? I know things have been heating up.
Yeah, it's been a very strange week. As we record this episode, it's Sunday, and we've just finished the first week of the writer's strike, the first strike since 2007. And it's been really crazy. I've been out in these streets every day picketing. I went to Warner Brothers, I went to Paramount, and I went to Netflix. Next week I'm going to Disney. It's really strange. I think it's going to be a long one. I think September, October, probably. There are rumors that either the Directors Guild or SAG, the Actors Guild, will strike as well. And you know, it's one of those things that it has to be done. It's really scary. I didn't write it all last week because I was just picketing, and it's just taken over all of my attention. But the corporate greed of these companies is outrageous, and it's becoming harder and harder and harder to make a living as a writer. I've definitely felt that pinch, and thought about leaving the industry a lot this year and last year. And so yeah, it's just got to be done. It's do or die. We are fighting for the existence of our profession with this one.
Bar fucking none.
Bar none.
One of the biggest industry-wide protests in a long fucking time.
We had our full industry meeting on Wednesday night at the Shrine Auditorium, which is where they used to hold the Oscars. So like a big, beautiful theater by USC. And for the first time in Hollywood history, the Teamsters were there, the DGA was there, SAG was there, the laborers were there. Every Hollywood union was present in attendance, and that's never happened before.
Fuck yeah. So
it's crazy.
If you're listening and you're in Ohio or Michigan and you don't know, like, what's going on and why there's all this, like, hubbub on the internet, it's really fucking important.
Yes, these companies. So we're fighting the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which is a committee made up of representatives from all the major studios, including Netflix, Amazon, and Apple, who have obviously in the past 10 years completely rearranged Hollywood for the worse. And they've made it really clear that they want to eliminate writers' rooms in television and replace us with AI, which is funny, not funny, haha, funny, strange, because one of our representatives said that they put that on the agenda as like an easy thing, right? Like they were like, well, there's this AI thing coming. We're a little bit afraid of it. So we'll just put it on here because that'll be an easy place to start the negotiations, assuming that the producers were going to be like, oh, sure. And then they could get on to the harder things. And then they got into the room and saw how the producers reacted to it. And they're like, oh shit, they fully intend to replace us with computers as soon as possible, because the producers would not even discuss it until the last day of the negotiations. They refused to even talk about it. And then they were quoted saying, well, why would we prohibit a tool that we might want to use? Which is like chilling.
I saw a quote from them that was saying like, well, the writers want to use AI. They want to use AI to make their jobs easier, don't they?
Who's this writer? I mean, their dystopian vision for the future of writing television is that a computer will do the heavy lifting, and then they'll pay one or two writers some pittance to like take that work and polish it and make it seem human. So that's their vision. The problem with that, though, is that AI can't create anything new. It's completely derivative, right? So like it could probably create a good script for like CSI Miami or whatever, but first you'd have to feed it 200 scripts for CSI Miami so that it knows what it's doing. So because of that, it's just making incredibly elaborate collages, basically. It's not actually creating new work, so it should be copyright infringement. It's essentially plagiarism. So,
well, currently the U.S. Supreme Court has not allowed people to copyright anything generated by AI.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
good.
hugely fucking important.
But with our Supreme Court, you know, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that scares me in my industry as well.
Of course, yeah. Corey Brickley, who did our show, they post about it constantly, and for good reason. It's an existential threat.
To every kind of artist. It's a threat to actors. Part of the thing that actors and that SAG is so up in arms about is that Netflix has been trying to sneak language into contracts, allowing them to use an actor's voice or visual likeness rights in perpetuity.
In any technologies, present or future, throughout the universe, is their exact quote. It's like, we're going to use their likeness in space? Like, it's crazy dark times in Hollywood. And here's why people who are not in this industry should care. I mean, obviously you love films and television if you're listening to this podcast, but Hollywood is uniquely situated to fight this because our unions have been strong for 100 years. While Reagan and his shitty cronies and the people that came after him gutted unions across every industry, ours were strong. So this is the first time these fights are coming to Hollywood, and what happens here affects every other industry in the world. So if you work in banking, if you work in construction, anywhere that your job could be replaced by AI, what happens here matters to you because it's a canary in the coal mine.
Mm-hmm. This is not some coastal elites. This is a proletariat fight.
That's the other thing. Like, writers aren't... When people think of Hollywood, they think of millionaires or they think of, like, starving waiters who want to be actors. And the truth is that almost everybody is in between. Almost every writer, director, actor, craftsperson, designer, almost all of them are middle class. And so your assumptions about Hollywood and the amount of money people make here are probably wrong.
Mm-hmm. No. Every level of the industry is routinely underpaid. And it's everyone that, like, it's so funny because being someone who's so steeped in, like, film history, you look back at, like, the 1930s, the 1940s, and so on and so forth. And all of those directors are, like, living in luxury, and, like, writers, and, like, even, like, people who were, like, painting movie posters had, like, owned houses in, like, the valley and stuff like that. And now all of us are, like, still, like, struggling to pay rent in fucking post-capitalist America.
I can name some final girls that you all know and love from recent giant Hollywood horror movies that live in one-bedroom apartments in Hollywood and are living totally middle-class lives despite the fact that you know who they are. And you probably assume that they live in a mansion in the hills and they live in, like, a normal one-bedroom apartment in Pasadena or Hollywood or wherever.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it is here.
It's fucking insane. And it's all because of corporate greed and evil tech companies.
Absolutely.
So.
I'll put some resources in the show notes about what you can do to support the writers if that's of interest to anybody. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that anymore. What movies have you watched? How are you? What's going on?
I've been so good. So first and foremost, I have been stuck working this past week, and I've been trying to make it out to the writer's strike as much as possible. I haven't been able to, unfortunately. But every single day, driving into work, I've been taking long routes past the studios so that I can at least, like, honk and support, which is fun and great. And so a lot of my movie choices this week have been rooted in, like, what's some pro-union movies I can watch?
Great. Watch Norma Rae every night.
I watched Norma Rae!
Yes, bitch. Yes.
I had never seen Norma Rae.
It's great, right?
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh, Ron Liebman is fucking incredible in that movie. The entire time I was watching, I was like, please don't murder him. Please don't murder him. Please don't murder him. Oh my god, he's going to get fucking murdered. And he's fine. He's fine. I really needed Peter Falk to, like, step aside and be like, he doesn't get eaten by the eels in this time.
I need to see that again. It's been years.
It was very good. I mean, Sally Field, of course, is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cher's in that too, isn't she?
She's not. You're thinking of Silkwood.
Oh, I am. I am thinking of Silkwood.
Which I still need to see. It wasn't on streaming. So
okay.
I will eventually see Silkwood. I don't know. Everything else that I watched was some level of like social conscious film.
Mhm.
So I watched Norma Rae and loved it. I watched Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Cycle about Dorothy Parker.
Love that movie.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
And Matthew Broderick is so young and darling in it.
Mhm.
My thing with that movie, it's great. It's very, very good. It's very much an ensemble film. It's made by Alan Parker, who was like Robert Altman's protege to a degree. So it's
Mhm.
very Altman-esque. It's a lot of like overlapping dialogue and swirling camera across like a room of like 40 people.
Yeah, love it.
But they've got Campbell Scott playing basically second banana to Rachel, not Rachel Lee Cook. Oh my fucking god.
Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah.
Jesus. 3 names, one of them is Lee.
Yeah.
But he's playing Robert Benchley,
Mhm.
the writer and actor. And Campbell Scott looks absolutely nothing like Robert Benchley. He is like 200 pounds away from being Robert Benchley. Like, I get it. From a 90s, like, oh, he's the second lead. Let's
Yeah.
make him this, like, attractive, like, Campbell Scott. He can get the cadence a little bit. But, like, he looks fucking nothing like Robert Benchley to the point that it's funny.
Yeah.
But, like, it's such a fucking delightful movie. And also a really good example of, like, Dorothy Parker is, like, a very famously well-regarded figure at the time of her life and now. And was seen as this big, important cultural figure who could not pay her rent.
Yep.
Who was not, like, her friends founded The New Yorker but couldn't pay her.
Yeah.
And ended up out in Hollywood as a screenwriter. Alone, with barely any money. And when she died, she donated her entire, what little was left of her estate, to Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, how cool. I didn't know that.
That's like, at the end of the movie, there's like the little card that comes up and it's like, Dorothy Parker died at this age. And then at the bottom, it's like, and she donated her money to Martin Luther King Jr. And you're like, oh.
That's rad.
That's rad, but you put no information in this movie, but like the 2 hours before this, saying that she had any interest in civil rights.
Right.
So cool. Okay. So I loved that. I took a look at what England had to offer, and I watched Mike Leigh's Meantime.
I haven't seen that one. I love Mike Leigh films, but I don't think I've seen that one.
I love Mike Leigh movies. I hadn't seen it. It's from 1983. It was like made for television. Life is Sweet, I should say, is one of my favorite movies ever made. And this is like a grungier, punker version of
Ooh,
Life
that
is
sounds
Sweet.
good.
It's centered around Phil Daniels from Quadrophenia and Tim Roth from Reservoir Dogs as two, like, 20-something brothers that are living with their parents in a small flat in England. And every single member of the family is on welfare. And Tim Roth is heavily implied to have a learning disability of some kind. And it's just like a really good look at the relationship between these two brothers. And they're, of course, conflicted by, like, their aunt and uncle are, like, wealthy and living in the suburbs. Or, like, not wealthy, but they're, like, middle class. And, like, there's, like, a juxtaposition and, like, clash between their family and them, which, like, I felt in my family growing up very frequently. But the uncle is played by Alfred Molina.
Oh, interesting.
It's very weird to me to see a movie from the early 80s in which Alfred Molina is playing, like, an uncle to two 20-somethings and a homeowner.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how the fuck old is Alfred Molina? Like, I think of him, like, being a young man in the late 90s. Like,
yeah.
He's been around for a minute and he's incredible. But the, like, big standout of the movie, obviously, is Gary Oldman. Playing a skinhead gutter punk, who reminded me entirely too much of my brother and is fucking terrifying.
Oh shit.
But it is like, he's the, like, big draw of the movie for some people, and it's like very easy to tell that this is a star-making role. This guy's about to get a bunch of offers after this, and it's what landed him Sid Nancy, obviously. So
Oh. Now, is he like an anti-racist skinhead or like a racist skinhead?
no, he's a racist skinhead.
God.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager in the 90s, there was this thing called Sharps, in case anyone doesn't know, which is like skinheads against racial prejudice, which always was so confusing. It's like, why would you, if you were against racism, why would you like ape the aesthetic of racists? Like, wouldn't it be so much easier to be anti-racist without looking like a skinhead? I mean, don't let me tell you how to run your business, but I feel like there's an easier way.
It just reminds me of all the white people in 2016 who made, like, parody Make America Great Again red trucker caps.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've got to get real up close to read that that's not that.
Right. The only one that I liked was a black hat that said "Make America Goth Again."
Yes.
That's good.
You have to, like, visually separate it from afar first.
Yeah.
This is a graphic designer note on parody. Anyway, it's been a really good week for movies.
Good.
Have you been watching anything, Josh?
You know, I didn't think I would get a chance to really watch anything, but I actually did. I was exhausted on Wednesday after that meeting. I came home and I was like, I'm too tired to read, so I'm going to watch a movie. And I watched this movie from 1970 that I texted you about called And Then the Darkness. And it's really good. It's a British movie about two young women who are nurses from England, and they're on a holiday bicycling across rural France. And they pull over to have a picnic in the little copse of woods, and they get into a fight, and one's like, I'm going to go on without you. And so she goes to town, realizes that, you know, she's done a shitty thing, turns around to go get her friend, and her friend is now missing. So it's a lot like The Vanishing. It feels like that a little bit. Her friend has been murdered. You see it happen, but you don't know by whom. And she's meeting these like small town people who all seem a little bit weird. There's the thing where a woman who doesn't speak English is trying to tell her, like, don't be on this road by yourself. This is a bad, bad road, and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's really quiet. It's just like a really good, simple thriller. And I loved it.
I'm really, really, really excited to see it. As soon as you texted me about it, I was like, I feel like I've heard of that. And I looked it up and I was like, okay, first and foremost, it's from the director of the Fibes movies.
Oh, is it?
Uh-huh. Which, like, instant sell.
Yeah.
But then I looked at the original poster from 1970, 1971 or whatever. And the big, like, block tagline header at the top of it says, remember that Hitchcock feeling, or something like that. Remember that feeling that only Hitchcock could give you. And I was like, that's an insane thing to put on a fucking poster. A, sold, because I do remember that Hitchcock feeling, and I love that Hitchcock feeling. But B, like, this is 1970. Hitchcock's alive. Imagine, like, going to the movies to go see something as, like, okay, let's paint the picture. It is 2048. You, Josh, are going to an AMC multiplex where there are AI-written movies being screened, because this is the dystopian version. And one of the AI-generated posters says, remember that Josh Conkle feeling? We've programmed AI to be Josh Conkle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd be flattered in a way, but also, yeah, like, hello, I'm alive and well, but thank you anyway. You know? That's
so weird. I mean, I know Hitchcock
weird.
kind of made himself a household name with his TV show and everything like that, but, like, it's just bizarre. Like, I don't, as someone who, like, works in posters currently, I can't imagine a client coming to us and being like, can you put a tagline on it that says, remember the way Bong Joon-ho makes movies? It's like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was really cool. I watched it because it was when I logged into Shudder, and it was the movie that was playing automatically in Shudder, and it was just starting, and I was like, I'll watch this. This is as good as anything. So it ended up being really, really good. And then it stars the young woman who's like the younger psychic from Legend of Hell House with like the cool black hipster hair, you know, even though it's the 70s. She looks like, you know, Karen O or something. She's really good in it. It's really good.
I fucking love Legend of Hell House. I cannot wait to watch Into the Darkness. It's Shot to the top of my list. I'll probably watch it later tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially knowing it's on Shudder.
It had really mixed reviews on Letterboxd, but it's kind of, it's a movie from 1970, and a lot of, like, the lower reviews were like, this is boring, and it's just like, well, you're just not used to thrillers from, like, 1970, Like, I didn't think it was boring at all. I loved it.
Yeah, I love 70s movies like that. Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Speaking about slower thrillers,
yes,
that people are not accustomed to, let's talk about The Mantle Twins.
Absolutely. So, this is a film from 1988, directed by David Cronenberg, starring Jeremy Irons. We are, of course, talking about Dead Ringers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Beverly Mantle.
By every scientific measure, they are absolutely the same. They share everything.
You haven't had any experience until I've had it too. Bev, you've got to try the movie star. She's unbelievable.
Oh, doctor, you've cured me. You mean to say there's two of them? They're twins, dear.
I think we should drop her, Bev. You drop her. I'm in love with her. Can't be love if it does this to you, can it?
Doctor, I think there's something wrong with you.
Patients are getting strange.
Yes. You chose this. Why don't you go off a little bit?
I did. I fucking love David Cronenberg.
Absolutely.
That goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think this is from like an objective cinematic lens, like in the way that like Sight and Sound puts out their list that says, Jeanne Dielman, best movie ever. From an objective lens, this is Cronenberg's best film.
I feel like a lot of people wouldn't agree with you.
I feel like a lot of people are wrong.
Yeah.
This was, I want to say, my second or third Cronenberg movie. I was indoctrinated by Videodrome, as all good people should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I like went right back to my library and was like, what else you got with this dude's name on it? And I just grabbed whatever had a Criterion logo and Cronenberg on it. And so I walked out with like Naked Lunch and Dead Ringers. And this movie blew my fucking mind at like 15 or whatever. So much so that the band that I was in for the majority of my teenage years was named Dead Ringers.
Ooh.
Which is very foolish and silly and stupid. But I toured and put out multiple albums with a band called Dead Ringers. Hi,
so
hello,
cool.
Pleased to meet you. Fun fact, I was the only person in the band who has seen this movie to date.
I was in a band as a teenager called Narek, which is Karen spelled backwards because of Watcher in the Woods, the Disney movie.
That's actually fucking iconic, though.
Yeah.
So I think this movie is great, and it's very timely to be discussing it now that it is like readily available once again. It is streaming on Peacock. It is streaming on HBO Max. You can like, go get a like $20 Blu-ray off Amazon from Scream Factory. It is like accessible again. There was a long point in time when this just kind of disappeared for some reason, rights and whatnot. But it is back. It is incredible, and now there is a remake-ish series on Amazon Prime, which we'll talk about later, but Dead Ringers is back in the public consciousness, and I'm so excited to fucking talk about it, because I love this stupid movie. Not stupid, brilliant,
Not stupid.
smart,
Classy.
and this is like the first classy Cronenberg movie.
It is. It's like a transitional film, I feel like, in the best way.
So this is 1988. It was right after he made The Fly, so he had the biggest commercial cachet he'd ever had. He had, like, a string of the early 80s, like, goopy schlockers, basically, with Scanners and The Brood, Videodrome, what's the Stephen King one?
I have no idea.
Oh my god, it's fucking, The Dead Zone.
Oh, of course.
With Christopher Walken. And then after Videodrome, he gets a deal with Mel Brooks to remake The Fly.
God bless Mel Brooks, man. I mean,
God bless Mel Brooks. And off of the like massive fucking success of The Fly, just huge. He was able to kind of do whatever he wanted back in Canada. And he wanted to adapt a book written
Called
by
Twins.
Barry Wood and Jack Gleason called Twins.
Inspired by a true story.
Mm-hmm. Which, delightful.
Yikes.
About two twin gynecologists. This movie was produced and shot under the title Twins and wasn't changed to Dead Ringers until it was in post because David Cronenberg's fellow Canadian filmmaker friend and his producer from Rabbit and Shivers, Ivan Reitman, was making a movie in 1988 also called Twins, starring Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger with, weirdly, the exact same plot. Checking my notes, that's incorrect, but
that's not right.
Better.
That's not quite right. I have to say, my friends Lucas and Dylan were just writing the long-desired sequel to Twins, starring Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And Eddie Murphy, right?
And Eddie Murphy. Unfortunately, when Ivan Reitman passed away, it got scrapped, so it won't come to light. But now they're writing something else for Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger because they loved them so much. And I'm not sure what it is, but it'll be great. I guarantee.
I'm so happy they're reteaming. I love those two so much.
They love each other, too. So
it's so fucking cute.
Danny DeVito was almost in Conan the Destroyer, the sequel to Conan the Barbarian. I was having lunch with him one day at the Beverly Hotel thing.
So remember how Josh was like, yeah, we're all middle class. Continue about your story about having lunch with Danny DeVito at the Beverly Hotel.
I am middle class. It's just that Danny DeVito isn't.
You are.
He was like, I had lunch here once in the early 80s with Dino De Laurentiis, and he had someone bring me the Conan the Barbarian poster with all of these women at Arnold's feet, and he's like, this could be you with women all around your feet if you star in the sequel, Conan the Destroyer. And so Danny was supposed to play the like thief, the scrubby little ratty thief that hangs out with Conan in the movie. But he
basically
didn't do
his
it.
role from Romancing the Stone.
Exactly. But he decided not to do it. He said that's like one of the things that he most regrets is not being in Conan the Destroyer.
That would have been awesome. It's like adding Joe Pesci to the Lethal Weapon movies.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's your history with Dead Ringers before we get into the flick?
I don't really have much of one. I have seen it before, once or twice, and
I have seen it.
That's it. I didn't have coming into this. I didn't have any. I guess I felt good about the movie. I liked it in my imagination, but I hadn't seen it in many years, and that's kind of it. It's not a Cronenberg movie that I feel attached to. Like my favorites are the earliest ones, like Shivers, and my favorite is The Brood. So those are the ones that I like willingly return to all the time. So yeah, that's kind of it. I knew that I liked it. I hadn't seen it in many years, and I was happy to rewatch it.
Yeah. Well, what's it about, Josh?
Okay, so Jeremy Irons plays twins named Beverly and Elliot, and they are prominent genius fertility doctors in Toronto. And they live together, which is weird and creepy. And they also are very bad doctors. They are sleeping with women that are their patients, and these women oftentimes don't know that they are sleeping with both twins. The twins regularly, Sweet Valley High style, will do each other's like public events. If one of them's busy, they'll just send the other. And all of this comes to a head when they meet a famous actress named Claire, played by Geneviève. What's her last name?
Geneviève Bujold.
Geneviève Bujold from Coma and House of Yes. And they are both sleeping with her. She doesn't realize that she's sleeping with both of them. She's in love with Beverly, who's like the sweeter, quieter, less sexually potent, perhaps, twin. And she also has I don't want to say deformity because that sounds cruel, but she has 3 cervixes. And so they're sort of fascinated with her body. She comes to them because she wants to have a baby, and they have to tell her that she can't, but they're also like interested in the fact that she has this mutation. And Claire is a drug addict. Beverly starts doing drugs, and it all sort of spirals from there. Is that okay? I mean, what would you change or amend?
That's basically it. The movie starts out very it's very Cronenberg in its obsession with the body.
Yeah.
And it's like obsession with identity and suffusing identity together into like bodily mutation, to use the movie's language.
Yeah.
But it kind of, that's like all this like surface level stuff to get you into it. At its core, it's an addiction story.
Yes.
And it's a very harrowing addiction story. And it's one of the things that I love about this movie so much, is that it's a very like straight up and hard look at like watching a loved one fall into addiction and trying to get them out of it.
Yeah.
Just in a slightly more fucked up Cronenberg way. I remember being like 15, going to AA and NA meetings for my brother, and then coming home and watching Dead Ringers and Sid Nancy.
Yeah. I thought of Sid and Nancy watching this again, and you know, I don't love junkie movies. I mean, I do love many of them, actually, but they're hard to watch. They're like,
not
fun. It's not fun. And
no,
I'm in
like
recovery.
Putting on Christiane F before bedtime.
Exactly. I'm in recovery off and on since I'm in my 20s, and I'm in my 40s. I have many addicts in my family, and it's just like, it's kind of a bummer. But it's still a really great movie that I love.
Yeah. The twin performances
so good
by Jeremy Irons are incredible.
Yes.
You don't like disbelieve it for a second. You're like in it from the beginning.
He makes the twins very distinct. Like I said, Beverly is sweeter and quieter and more shy. Elliot's the face of the twins. You know, he's the talkative one. He's the charming one. He's a womanizer. You always know who is who, unless they don't want you to, unless one of them is like pretending to be the other, which they're quite good at because they've been doing it their whole lives. I also love the aesthetic of this movie. You're getting, it's very American Psycho because it's 1988, right? So they live in this beautiful loft apartment that's like minimalist and cold. Incredible fashion movie. And finally, a movie about menswear for once. So they're wearing gorgeous Armani overcoats. They're wearing Oliver Peoples glasses. They've got $200 wool sweaters and gorgeous trousers, and like the men's fashion is like through the roof good in this.
It is so beautiful, but everything about them, from the way they dress to the way they behave, is like distinctly different human beings. There's a scene at the beginning when Beverly comes home to discuss their sex lives with each other. And they're eating pizza together, but it's like gourmet pizza, from a very like specific like gourmet restaurant in Toronto, and they both eat pizza differently. Like Beverly is like dunking his crust in his red wine, which is so fucking funny to me.
That's a great scene too, because Elliot has fucked Claire, this actress, first. But she doesn't know that it's Elliot. She thinks it's Beverly. And so then he sends Beverly to do it the next morning. And it's a much more awkward situation for the real Beverly. And now they're talking about it, right? And Elliot says, like, well, if it weren't for me, you would be a virgin. So he, like, kind of clears the way as the more charming, likable one for Beverly to have sex with women. And there's an interesting dynamic between the two of them. And I guess it's more explicitly gay in the book. But this movie opens with them as little boys approaching a little girl and asking if they could have sex with her. She's like, fuck off, you weirdos. Literally says something like that. But they're interested in sex, and they're talking about how the only reason human beings have sex is because they don't live in water anymore. So, like, you know, they have to touch. They're interested in the idea of being able to
internalize the water is their line, which is so fucking gross.
That's so weird. So they're really interested in the idea of having sex without touching. So for them, it seems like there's something about sex that's like really clinical. And when it comes to women's bodies, you know, these are gynecologists. There's a sense that they are both fascinated and repulsed by women's bodies. So that kind of gives it like a weird queer feeling, which is super ick because they're identical twin brothers also. But
there's a scene later in the movie when Elliot is trying to get Beverly out of Claire's clutches, which is a very fun sentence to say, and to kick his pill habit. It's very Valley of the Dolls. And by doing so, he has him come back to the apartment that they share, where Elliot has his kind of on-again, off-again girlfriend in tow. And he, like, encourages her to go slow dance with Beverly.
That's a great scene.
He comes around and, like, Ichimama Tom begins his way in and starts, like, slow dancing with her as well. And then he puts his arms around Beverly. And it's, like, very much the beginning of Menage a Trois. Like,
listening to, like, romantic 50s music.
Yeah.
It's so icky. I don't know. I think, like, some people are, like, into twin porn and stuff like that. And that's an X for me. Like, do not cross line.
So not only is it heavily implied that these two men want to fuck each other.
Yeah.
Or do fuck each other. Or have a psychosexual relationship that goes beyond physical touch. Elliot routinely takes pleasure in having sex with twins.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yes.
There's an awesome scene when he's, like, away giving, like, a lecture at some, like, college or something, where he goes back to his hotel room and orders twin sex workers and says so that he'll be able to tell the difference between the two, he's asked one to call him Elliot and the other to call him Beverly.
It's so weird and good.
So he wants to have sex with twins and believe that he's both himself and his brother. So there's throughout the movie, there's so much, like, commingling of identity. When Beverly is, like, at, like, beginning his, like, descent into being very, very, very strung out, he introduces himself to one of his patients as, I am one of the Mantle twins. Mm-hmm. As if he's forgotten which one he is.
Yeah.
Which is so beautiful. And by the end of the movie, Elliot's solution to getting Beverly off of drugs is for them to get in sync with each other.
Right. It's for him to become a drug addict as well. So I don't know what he thinks will happen. Like, they'll level out somehow.
His belief is that all the problem stems from Beverly trying to keep Claire DeVoe's relationship just for himself. Right. And they need to get on the same even keel again. So he's got to start taking the same pills and morphine and essentially heroin that his brother's been taking so they can wean it off together, and that'll work. But in this state, they end up truly identical. They are wearing the same open shirt, the same underwear, and when they, like, walk through the frame, it feels like the screen is glitching, because you get one Jeremy Irons and then the exact same Jeremy Irons next to them. Yeah. They've lost all individual identity and kind of all fallen into one.
There's also the really cool thread where they talk a lot about Cheng and Aang, who they're obsessed with. Cheng and Aang were historically famous Siamese twins who were attached at the chest.
It's the reason why the term Siamese has been attached to conjoined twins.
To conjoined twins, thank you. I shouldn't say that. That's just the term that they use, and that's why I thought of it. So Cheng and Aang, the way that they passed away was one of them, Cheng, I believe, was an alcoholic and Aang wasn't. And one night, Aang woke up and Cheng was dead and attached to him, and Aang died of fright. And so it's really a scary story. That's probably the most effective part of the movie to me, is when he's telling that story. And he's telling it in this sing-songy voice because he's fucked up, and it's just, like, so icky. And then the way that they walk, the part that you were just talking about, where they're, like, walking in a single file line through the frame. There's another set of famous twins whose names I can't recall right now, but they were British, Caribbean immigrants, and they walked and talked in unison, and they had a secret twin language, and it's just, like, a very weird thing. But it seemed like one of them was, like, the bully and was sort of forcing the other one to do it their entire lives, because once that one passed away, the other one was totally normal and fine. It's just, like, there's all of these, like, weird twin stories that they're referencing. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you what you thought about this movie and misogyny. I was trying to find like second wave feminist voices from the 80s and what, like Pauline Kael or whomever, and see what they thought of this movie. And I kind of couldn't find anything. And then I went to Letterboxd and all of the reviews are positive there. So I was trying to think of like what women in the 80s made of this movie, because it is kind of a man's movie in a way. I mean, it is,
it's very much, I mean, it's based on a book by two men. It is written by David Cronenberg. It is directed by David Cronenberg. And it is starring Jeremy Irons, who, just quick tangent about Jeremy Irons, was in the news like a few months ago for saying that he was against gay marriage, because he was like, what? Now a man can just marry his son? I'm just gonna go marry my son? And I'm like, Jeremy, do you want to fuck your son? You're telling on yourself, sir.
Yeah. I mean, the character of Claire is like a masochist. She likes to be spanked, you know. I don't know. There's something about it that is a little discomforting when you see it from like a feminist 80s perspective.
So, two things. First, the only account of a woman from the 80s and in the 80s watching this movie that I have access and record to is my mother, who at the age of 18 saw this movie in theaters. And her only recollections of it to me are, it was weird, and I only went to see it because I had a crush on Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. Who's hot in this movie. He is hot in this.
Very hot in this movie. Especially as Elliot, who Claire calls Dracula. And I'm like, yep,
he's
that's
way
right.
hotter as Elliot, yeah.
However, I think I don't find the movie misogynist. I find the movie critical of the behavior of the Mantle twins. Through and through, and I find it to kind of be, I don't know, Cronenberg dissecting contemporary Western American, in quotes because I'm North American, male presentation, like especially yuppie era 80s male presentation, and bifurcating it into two people. So this idea of like as strong and confident and misogynistic as Elliot is, like, the underbelly is also true. The Beverly is also true of the same person. Which, reverse that, the sweet guy who's very calm and gentle is just as misogynistic and awful as Elliot, which is demonstrated when once he's on his kind of bender, at a certain point, Beverly is performing a pretty routine procedure.
That scene is so harrowing.
It's really upsetting on like middle-aged woman, and she's complaining of pain. Yeah. And he berates and belittles her. And it's revealed that he's not only using the wrong tool, he's using something that's used in surgery on her. He's using a gold-plated one that was given to them as a trophy.
Yeah, it's like decorative. It's not a functional item.
And so I find this movie to be like a skewering of 80s masculinity and misogyny in like a really good way. I find Claire to be the most like well-rounded, and
I love that performance from her.
She's great. Geneviève Bujold does not get enough like love and attention. She's also gives a great dual role herself in Brian De Palma's Obsession.
Yes.
Which I highly recommend.
I mean, I came to know her because she's one of the stars of The House of Yes, which I was obsessed with in high school, starring Parker Posey, Tori Spelling, Geneviève, and Freddie Prinze Jr. And it's like an adaptation of a play, and it's one of the, if you haven't seen it, it is so funny, and she plays their mother, and it's hysterically funny. Great movie.
I need to see it. I've been dying to
really
see it for
great.
a long time.
Yeah.
But Claire, like, she's into kink. And she has the desire to be a mother. She wants to have children. And she's, developed a drug habit due to the demands of being a woman, being a working actress. And
having, like, quack doctors who are sycophantic all around,
prescribing her whatever she wants or whatever they think she needs, which is not unlike the way that Judy Garland lived a lot of her life.
Yeah.
So it's not unrealistic, but also, like, she does not enjoy nearly as much kink and BDSM as women in other Cronenberg movies. Let me just first say that. She's nowhere near Debbie Harry in Videodrome or anyone in Crash. She likes to be tied up with some medical tubing on occasion, which is one of the greatest scenes in film history.
Yeah.
And to be spanked. That's, like, pretty vanilla, comparatively. Beverly's just a little fucking baby who can't fucking spank her.
Beverly does seem like a bad lay compared to Elliot. Like, she fucks Elliot first, and then when Beverly comes over the next morning, she's like, I'm still vibrating from last night. Like, that Elliot will give you a good deep dicking, and perhaps Beverly won't.
And the only time that we see Beverly, like, perform with her is after he's been told what to do by Elliot, in which he ties her up with medical tubing, which is like, okay, it's very hot. It's very interesting.
It is hot.
It's very fun. The most Cronenberg section of this movie, though, is this gorgeous dream sequence that takes place in the middle of the movie after Claire and Beverly kind of rekindle the relationship that kind of symbolizes his fear of his brother getting in the way of this relationship, in which he is in bed with Claire and becomes worried that Elliot is also in bed with them and he's watching them. And Claire decides to separate them, and we pan out to reveal that there is a giant, like, tumor growth connecting the two of them, as if they were conjoined twins. And then she bites down into it to separate them. It's
cool.
It's very cool. It's the most Cronenberg body horror ick of the movie, but it also, like, almost directly recalls a similar dream sequence in Buñuel's Los Olvidados, which is the Lost Ones, which is a super famous Mexican film that I know Cronenberg is a fan of, and has an incredible dream sequence that is very similar to this. Very fucked up and gross. Yeah, on top of our gorgeous red coded surgery scenes.
Yeah. I thought a lot about Crimes of the Future, which, I just saw last year when it was in theaters. And so much from Crimes of the Future is in this as well. So there's a scene in this where the doctor is giving someone an examination, Claire, I believe, the first time they're discovering Claire's unusual vagina. And they're saying, like, I've often thought there should be beauty pageants for the insides of people, which is a plot line from Crimes of the Future. And then later, when Beverly is spiraling, he has these new surgical tools created by an artisan, these, like, incredibly futuristic, beautiful surgical tools, because he thinks that everyone is a mutant suddenly because he's on drugs. And they are like they end up being taken from him and sold at an art gallery as art pieces, but they look like the tools from Crimes in the Future, which is about, of course, mutants and surgery. So I just thought the parallels, like, this is a man obsessed with a list of things, like the parallels between these movies are direct. They're not even parallels. They're just the same.
Crimes of the Future might as well be a sequel to Dead Ringers.
Yeah.
No one does MedFet quite like David Cronenberg. He knows his stuff.
Man's got a fetish.
The tools for operating on mutant women are incredible, and they're varied, and they're so grotesque because they are these, like, cold steel in these very fleshy shapes.
Yeah, organic shapes.
One of them is a knife at the end of this, like, bone finger looking thing that's controlled by, like, a bit of, like, fishing line. That gets the most use throughout the movie, that he uses to slash a woman's genitals during surgery. Very horrifying, but there's something about them that are so sensual.
They're beautiful. I mean,
Claire
they are
finds
art.
them later. She's, like, a little interested in them, and he takes them back, and he's like, no, these are for me. But there's something about the idea of, quote, operating on mutant women that I find very interesting and very funny. And it's a phrase that I have used in the past year or so when I had surgery. Because you could say, trans women, you know, if you want to use a Cronenbergian lens, or mutant women, why not? Sure, fine, whatever. And, you know, the Mantle twins need to operate on mutant women.
I did think of you, not because you're trans, but when I saw those tools, I just know your taste, and I was like, if I were rich, I would have these tools created for Drusilla as a Christmas gift. Like, because they're so beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know you love great design.
I do. If I had the opportunity, I would have earrings made of them.
Yeah, they're really cool.
My tattoo artist, actually, Amanda in DTLA, who's Crypt Inker on Instagram, you can follow her, she's incredible. She's developing a tattoo flash set of the tools.
Oh, wow.
From Dead Ringers. That she just posted it like 2 days ago or something, and I was like, A,
cool.
Yes, I'm definitely going to get one of those, and B, like, the timing of this is incredible. So, speaking of the timing of this being intentional, so Daggers came out in 1988. It didn't do that well at the box office. It was treated more as an art house film, which it is. Jeremy Irons' performance is great. He didn't get anything for it. He ended up getting an Oscar like a year or two later. I think for Reversal of Fortune?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't like Oscars, and I don't follow them.
Me neither. But when he won the Oscar for whatever other movie he made, the first person he thanked was David Cronenberg.
Oh, I love that.
Because in his mind, this was a delayed Oscar for Dead Ringers. But, you know, 30 some odd years later, the property, the book, has been remade once again as Dead Ringers on Amazon Prime.
And it's a miniseries, right? Not an ongoing series.
I believe it's a miniseries.
Yeah.
It's 6 episodes in length, hour-long episodes. They all dropped at once last month. And it stars Rachel Weisz as Beverly and Elliot Mantle, which is a really interesting move and take. It's different directors for every episode, but Karen Kusama, the director of Jennifer's Body and The Invitation, directs the 5th of the 6 episodes. And it expands the story and changes it drastically. As is stated pretty directly in the Cronenberg film, they are interested in fertility, and they do not... they are in no way involved in the birthing process.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Rachel Weisz show is very much about the birthing process. And they take the misogyny of the Mantle twins and kind of turn it on his head as now, like, these feminist icons of, like, discussing women's bodies around pregnancy and around medical care in a very progressive way, which is, like, great and super important and is a conversation that really needs to be had. But it becomes, there's also an actress involved, I don't remember if her name's Claire or not, that begins to, like, split up the twins' relationship with each other. But Elliot, the whole time, is a drug addict. And Beverly wants to be pregnant. Very, 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 very badly. And a lot of the crux of the show is Elliot being grumpy that Beverly is pregnant and it has nothing to do with me. I just want to get my sister pregnant so bad. And it's even gayer. They're both, like, explicitly lesbians or bisexual at the least. It's very good. It revives a lot of the, like, dialogue that is iconic from the movie. Like, you would never fuck if it wasn't for me, and separation can be a terrible thing, and all of the, like, iconic lines from the film are in the show. We expand on their lives a little bit from the, you know, time that we get with them. We get an episode about their parents coming to town. We get the red dressing gowns and everything back. But it takes a very different turn for the ending, while still trying to hit some of the narrative points of the way the Mantle twins reach an end in the film. I don't think the series is nearly as successful as the film in its ending, but that is for other people to say. I've heard some people, women in their like 20s and 30s, say that they prefer the series to the film. I really, really love the series up until a point. I didn't care for the final episode. But I will say, as a selling point, Michael McKean from Spinal Tap has an episode as a Southern doctor and a man of medicine.
Ooh, I love that.
Who gets to put on the red dressing gowns and perform surgery with them. And it's fucking incredible. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that Michael McKean would be in Dead Ringers.
Yeah, that's so wonderful.
But Rachel Weisz's performance is incredible. And of course, technology has moved to a point that they can do even more with the twinning and stuff like that. So I recommend it. I think, if you like Dead Ringers, you should definitely check out Dead Ringers. But if you like Dead Ringers, you should definitely check out Dead Ringers. But give the Cronenberg Want to Watch first, or if you've already seen the series, please give the Cronenberg Want to Watch. It's on HBO Max. It's on Peacock. Readily get the Blu-ray.
Great movie.
Great movie. Please go see it. And let us know what you think. Is the show better? Is the movie better? I mean,
hit us up.
It's the movie for me by a long shot.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
Well, listen, it's time to pivot and play our favorite game, Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen the movie. I have someone in mind, you just mentioned them, Michael McKean. Has he seen Dead Ringers 1988? Mr. Green from Clue.
Did Mr. Green from Clue take a little trek out to see Dead Ringers? I think he absolutely did. Okay. I want to see the world in which Michael McKean and Christopher Guest were like, hey, new Cronenberg, let's go.
I bet Michael McKean is he seems like a smart, sophisticated guy. He's a comedic actor, but that doesn't mean he's dumb. It doesn't mean he only goes to see comedies. You know what I mean? I bet he goes to see really serious dramas and... Yeah. I think he watched Chernobyl on HBO, for instance.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he would like Dead Ringers.
I feel like he would love it, but I also feel like he hadn't seen it since 1988. And then got the call for the show and was like, oh.
I better watch that.
I better watch that again. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's definitely seen it. Of course, David Cronenberg is incredible, and I'm so glad that he's back with Crimes of the Future. And not in small part due to the success of his son, Brandon Cronenberg. Who also had a movie this year, Infinity Pool, starring Stellan Skarsgård. Alexander Skarsgård, who I was having a conversation with my partner while we were watching Dead Ringers, and we're like, the only other person who could do this today is Alexander Skarsgård.
He would be so good.
He would be so good.
Yeah.
But it's got me wondering, do you think Mia Goth has seen Dead Ringers, co-star of Infinity Pool, and Pearl herself?
My gut says no. And it's not because she's not cool enough or not smart or anything like that. She's just so young. And that's the only reason. I mean, you are young too, but you're somebody who watches a lot of old movies and are somewhat of a film historian, Mm-hmm. I feel like not a lot of people under the age of 30 probably have seen it. But I don't know if that's true.
I unfortunately
might be my prejudice.
Right? Well, I think it's also due in large part to this movie isn't discussed that often, and it also was not readily available for 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
For one reason or another. It wasn't until now it's everywhere. I think it's even on Shudder, or it wasn't Shudder for a while. But it's not, now that it's everywhere again, it's not being discussed enough. So I'm hoping that at minimum this new series can reignite some interest in this film.
I have the feeling that even people who, I saw this on Letterboxd when I looked last night, people who even like Cronenberg, this doesn't really rank for them for some reason. And I saw, before I rewatched it for the podcast, I happened upon people talking about it on horror Twitter, and they were saying that they thought it was boring.
Wow.
Which I don't agree with. I like this movie quite a bit.
Well, the problem is that it's not a horror movie. It's
Right.
more of a thriller.
Like
it's
a
more of a
psychodrama.
It's a psychodrama, yeah.
Yeah.
So it has more in common with what Cronenberg would start doing in the 90s with M. Butterfly and Crash
Right.
and Naked Lunch than it does with Scanners or Videodrome.
Yeah.
But Shivers is my favorite Cronenberg movie.
Love it.
Tied with Crash. But I, for better or worse, always end up back in his 90s drama phase. Crash, Naked Lunch, and Dead Ringers are the ones that and M. Butterfly, because M. Butterfly is a really fucked up gender narrative.
Totally.
I revisit the most, I think, and have the most connection to. So I like this phase of him, and a lot of people were disappointed by Crimes of the Future that are Scanners heads. But Crimes of the Future fits right in with where he left off with Crash and stuff. So that's my thing. I feel like if Mia Goth has seen this, she would enjoy it, but I feel like she would enjoy this as a study of performance.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily. And I hope she does see it if she hasn't.
She could have very easily been in Crimes of the Future, by the way.
Oh,
she would have fit right into that movie.
Oh, yeah. I feel like there's a deleted
actress.
scene where she's just in the corner, sucking on Kristen Stewart's neck or something like that. And you're yep. Okay.
I feel like she does know about David Cronenberg, even without the Brandon Cronenberg connection. I feel like she's she's an actress. She's in indie movies. I think she's familiar with David Cronenberg. I don't buy that she's seen this particular movie for some reason.
Okay. What Cronenberg movie do you think she's seen then? If there's one Cronenberg movie that Mia Goth has absolutely seen.
Crimes of the Future, obviously, but that aside, I want to say, for some reason, I want to say The Brood. I don't know, because it's on Criterion and it's more accessible in some ways and more famous.
I feel like she would love The Brood.
That's my favorite.
I feel like if there's one that she's definitely seen, it's either Eastern Promises.
Yeah.
Which okay. Or it's Videodrome.
Yeah, it could be.
She seems like the kind of girl who would stay up late at night and watch Videodrome in her bed.
Yeah. Do you know what one I think she would like the best is Crash? I think she would really like Crash.
Yeah, she would love. Mia Goth, if you're listening, watch Crash.
Yeah. We did an episode on it, Mia Goth, guest star Chelsea Stardust. Go back and listen. It's in the feed. I have somebody in mind. This is somebody who created some of the most iconic twins of literature. I am, of course, referencing the franchise Sweet Valley High, written and created by Francine Pascal. Do you think Francine Pascal, writer of the Sweet Valley High series, has seen Dead Ringers?
110%. But only for the same reason my mother saw Dead Ringers.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons hot.
Yeah, I don't know how old she is. She must have been in her 30s or 40s in the 80s, because that's when Sweet Valley High was at its peak, right? So I think maybe she was 40, so she's going to flick her bean for Jeremy Irons.
That's one of my favorite phrases of all time.
I don't know what Francine Pascal looks like, but when I close my eyes and I imagine her, I imagine Meryl Streep from She-Devil, as the romance novelist. So she's got sweeping blonde hair, a pink women's suit with pink heels, and so that's how I imagine her going to see, or the woman from The Simpsons who creates the feminist Barbie,
Kathleen Turner. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I think Francine Pascal has seen Dead Ringers as well.
I feel like there's a world in which she never saw it because she thought it was a horror movie, and then years later watched it for some odd reason, and then was people lied to me. I feel so misled. I would have loved this movie.
Oh my god, you could write the best YA novel by crossing Sweet Valley High and Dead Ringers somehow. I just have goosebumps. I'm about to be the next R.L. Stine with this idea.
All right, we're going to cut that part out of the episode, and Josh is going to get to writing for the first time all week.
Yeah.
Goodbye, film and TV industry. Hello, YA Green.
Yeah.
Speaking of YA stars and teen drama and of twins, do you think Cole and or Dylan Sprouse twins from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and of course Cole Sprouse from Riverdale, and who has an upcoming turn in a horror movie later this year. Do you think either of them have seen Dead Ringers?
Cole, 100%. Dylan, no.
So
Cole,
Elliot and
yeah. Cole is really arty-farty. He's really this is how he sees himself anyway. I haven't met him in person.
he smoked a cigarette on a podcast, so you know he's artsy.
He's like a little bit dark. He's a little bit outsidery. I think for sure he's into Cronenberg. Dylan is like normcore. Dylan like owns a brewery and is like into IPAs and stuff. So like Dylan's normcore. Dylan, no. Unless Cole has forced him to. Cole is like, he's a for sure yes for me. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I think it's so funny to kind of like... I'm also interested in what they would think of this movie from the point of view of twins.
Well, speaking of that, do you know who I thought of? And I know that you'll have an opinion about this. I kept thinking about the Sparks brothers from the band Sparks, because they have the same dynamic, right? Where one of them is really hot and is kind of the face of it, and then the other one is like weirder and stranger, but does all of the work.
Yeah.
You know?
Not all of the work.
I know, he does all the
work.
songwriting.
Yeah.
So I kept thinking about those Sparks brothers.
That's actually a really interesting idea, because they're not twins, but they are like very closely related brothers. Thankfully, they don't live together, but they live very close to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the songs are written by Ron, who plays keys, and like is very like
weird and skinny and not as conventionally attractive. Me too.
Yeah,
he's the one that I like. Yeah,
he's my boy.
I'm the same.
But because of that, all of the songs that he writes are about like not getting the girl and being like too ugly and too shy and all that kind of stuff. And then they're being sung by Russell, who's like
conventionally attractive, former football player.
Yeah.
There's a great video for their song from the 80s, When I'm With You, where Ron is like a puppeteer and he has Russell on his lap as the dummy, and it's like sort of saying like, I'm the one who's actually doing the talking through this dummy, you know?
They also have an album called Pulling Rabbits Out of Hats, where similarly Russell is a little like puppet that's being pulled out by Ron, and they play up that idea all the time. The poster for the Sparks brothers is the same thing of them like pulling off the mask. I think that Ron and Russell Mael have both absolutely seen Dead Ringers.
For sure.
Because they're massive cinephiles. They're like, they worked with like Jacques Tati. Like, they both went to film school.
Yeah.
I think they love Dead Ringers, and I think that they like joke around as Beverly and Elliot occasionally.
That's
like,
funny.
As like an in-joke between the two of them. I firmly believe it. I also think they've already watched all of the Rachel Weisz show.
I think that's true too, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at bloodhousepod. Drusilla, where are you?
I am on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, you will find me. You can also find all of my art and stuff, movie posters, Criterion covers, the what have you, over at sisterhydedesign.com. I'm also on Instagram and technically Twitter. If you look for @HydeSister, you will find moi. What about you, Josh? Where are you lurking outside of the gates of studios?
Well, unfortunately, I'm back on Twitter because of the writer's strike. I just couldn't keep away, so you can follow me @JoshuaConkle. I'm also on Instagram and Letterboxd @JoshuaConkle. So, we're watching one of my favorites next week.
We are. We're taking a little trip, and we are ringing in May with Robin Hardy's The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man! I cannot wait.
Finally, a musical.
Thank you. Bye-bye.